What's up guys, it's Twiggers Trades back with another video. Today is going to be the first episode of my new series for the next week or two, all about quantum. I spent the last 2 weeks doing a deep dive into every major quantum company to find out if they're the next big thing or if they're all hype. So if you want to see more deep dives on quantum stocks, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos in the coming days. The first quantum stock I'm going to be talking about is Rigetti Computing. This stock, like many other quantum stocks, has been on a tear the past year, going up over 4,000%. Now today we're going to find out if this company will succeed in the booming quantum industry. But before that, let's talk about the history behind it. Rigetti was founded in 2013 by Chad Rigetti, a physicist who had worked for IBM in their quantum computing division. His vision for the company was to vertically integrate quantum computing. This means making hardware, software, and allowing cloud access for all their products. In 2016, they made a 3-qubit processor and were able to raise over $60 million from investors. I'm not going to explain exactly what qubits are, but you don't really need to know exactly what they are to understand the economics. All you need to know is that more qubits means more computing power, and instead of it being linear growth like classical computing, it's exponential. I also have a link to a table in the description with simple explanations for some of the terms in this video if you want to follow along with that open. Then from 2016 to 2022, they launched a quantum programming platform for developers, an internal fabrication plant to create their own hardware, and they went public on the NASDAQ in 2022. Since being public, they launched an 84-qubit processor as part of their development roadmap, and they announced a 36-qubit modular quantum system, allowing them to get 99.5 fidelity. Now, fidelity is the error rate. And having a higher fidelity means less errors, and this is key for quantum computers since high error rates make them unusable. Now let's talk about management. When looking at management, I try to highlight anyone I find with important experience or someone who has the right connections in the right places. A lot of revenue for these companies comes from government grants and contracts, which makes government connections extremely important. With that said, the first member I want to highlight is board member Dr. Ray Johnson, who was the former SVP and Chief Technology Officer of Lockheed Martin for 9 years. This gives him strong credentials and connections in government which will be important in a company looking for those government contracts. The second member I want to highlight is board member Gail Sanford, who worked for a consulting firm that supported clients serving the US government, giving her a strong record of working with defense and other government programs. So what products and services does Rigetti currently offer? Well, they build quantum processing units and other hardware in their fabrication facility. This includes their 84-qubit Anka 3 processor and their Novera 9-qubit QPU as well. These are both commercially available today. They also have a quantum cloud services platform. This allows users to access their quantum systems from anywhere in the world. They've also partnered with major cloud providers like Amazon Bracket to provide access to research and government users. Software and development tools are also available through Rigetti. This means developers can build their own programs through their Forest platform as well. They offer a lot of services and products, so the revenue must be pretty good, right? Well, not exactly. Right now the market cap is valued at $13 billion, and from 2021 to 2024, revenues have stayed flat around $10 million a year, all while burning tens of millions of dollars in cash. This gives them a price of sales of $1,300. Revenue has slowed significantly this year with 1.5 in Q1 and 1.8 in Q2, which could make that number go up even higher. Most of the revenue currently comes from small government contracts or purchases from research labs looking to get access to quantum technology. So when is it expected to pick up? Well, revenues are expected to double next year, but after that, it's not quite clear. They plan to keep advancing, setting a technological milestone of a 100-qubit chiplet system with 99.5% fidelity before the end of 2025. Which might get them some more government contracts, but in the way of mass commercialization, it's just one more step of many they need to make. And if they are confident about their future, it's not showing, with heavy insider selling, including the CEO selling his whole stake in the company when it hit $12. This is concerning because if it was overvalued then, it's definitely overvalued now while trading 3 times the amount he sold his stake for. They also continue to dilute shareholders through at-the-money stock offerings, with their share count now doubling since last year. This will happen with most companies at this stage of heavy cash burn, so it's not entirely surprising, but I would expect them to continue to harvest this quantum hype for all it's worth, since these offerings have given them over $550 million in cash ready to use. Now everybody knows the quantum market is expected to boom in the next decade, but is Rigetti the best position to capture that market? Well, the most valuable part of the market to capture will without a doubt be the cloud services. Quantum hardware is extremely expensive, and for commercial use, it's much more cost effective to spend money on quantum as a service. This can be catered to pharmaceuticals, finance, cybersecurity and logistics, among many others. So, will they be able to succeed? Well, there's one large problem. They're competing against big tech, most notably Google, who has said they plan to provide quantum software, cloud services, application development, and are building it into its other products as well. Google has near infinite cache and is years ahead of Rigetti in terms of sheer computing power. This includes Willow, Google's chip, which is 105 qubits and can exponentially improve error-corrected qubits as scale increases, meaning less errors occurred with more qubits being added onto the system. Regardless of this development, the age of quantum is still years and years away from being commercially viable for both Rigetti and Google. However, when that time does arrive, Rigetti will likely have to specialize itself as a hardware provider who allows custom adjustments and custom software. Because of intense competition and a lengthy time frame, I'm giving this stock a strong sell. They will likely continue to issue more shares to raise cash, and it wouldn't make sense for them to stop while the quantum hype is at its peak. A lot of this quantum hype mirrors times during the dot-com bubble, where the valuations of fiber optics and networking equipment companies exploded since those parts would power the future of the internet. Most of those companies never reached that valuation again, and some even went bankrupt. I see this right now with quantum, where these companies are prematurely reaching high valuations before they even prove they will be a winner in quantum. And even if they are a winner, will they make enough money to be worth $13 billion at a fair valuation? I'm not so sure. And that's going to be all for part 1 of All About Quantum. I hope you enjoyed this video because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos on similar companies in the coming days, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to leave a like and check out my links in the description, because before I put out my videos, you can actually see all my research on my website first. You can also leave a comment, ask a question, or leave a stock suggestion on there as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.